Thank you for listening to the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. Some said we would go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here. It's a wrap for the Lions Offseason program. Coming up on this edition of the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Seany J and I wrap up our coverage of the Lions offseason program. Then we tell you something good, some positive news and notes about the Lions organization. Then we wrap it up with 2 points conversing. All this and more coming up right now on the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Watch out. Here comes that roar. What up, though? This is Curt Steele, and welcome to the Die Hard Den podcast. And as always, I'm with my man, Seany J.
What's up, good people? Looks like Chris had his Wheaties today. He's excited.
Yeah, man. We got to bring the juice to the people. Hey, it's our last show of the off-season workouts. We're going to take our summer break until training camp, so we won't have another show after today until training camp. But hang out with your fellas as we break down and review what the Lions did in the off-season. But you know what you got to do first. We got to tell me something good. Seany J, I'm up first this week. I'm going to tell you something good. The Lions will host fans for the for the training camp this offseason. The NFL has cleared teams to have fans in attendance during training camp this year. So what do you think about the NFL clearing for fans to be in attendance for training camp this year?
Well, it's a good thing, of course. Anything positive the NFL does.
Mm-hmm.
The fans want to be there now. They want to see their heroes practice, maybe get an autograph at the practice. I think it's a good thing, build fan play relations. Still be careful, wear your mask, still don't get too careless. The pandemic is still out there. I guess most people got their shots, but still be careful, people. And if you have the time, you want to sit out in the hot sun, watch your players practice, go for it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man, you gotta tell me something good. What do you have this week, my man? Seany J, tell me something good.
Well, June 17th is the day. It's a popular birthday day for 2 former Lions and 1 current Lion. Former Lions center Kevin Glover, you remember him?
Yeah.
He turns 58 years old today. Lions all-time leading scorer and longtime place kicker, played over 20 years with the team. Mr. Jason Hanson turns 51 today.
Okay.
And he turns 51 today. And current Lion, and hopefully the man who will lead the NFL in sacks this year, Mr. Romeo Okudah, turns 26 today.
Oh, man. Happy birthday, fellas. From us right here at the Die Hard Den podcast, man, we really want to wish you a happy birthday, and I hope you really enjoyed your day, fellas, yesterday, as this show is going to air on Friday. But it's Thursday night, so happy birthday to those guys. We appreciate you. Now it's time to switch to the offense. Now, Seany J, we're wrapping up our mini camp and training OTA coverage, so we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to go over some things we learned on both the offensive and defensive show for this show. So first up is the offense. Of course, we got to go on the ball, and first up we have TJ Hockenson will be the focal point of the Lions offense this season. What do you think about Mr. Hockenson being the focal point of the Lions offense?
I love it. We drafted him 7th overall or 8th overall 2 years ago. People kind of moan on the tight end. Well, he's already proven to be better than Eric Ebron and what's the dude back in 2009 we drafted?
Brandon Pettigrew.
Yeah, Pettigrew already combined. And those, they had their moments. Pettigrew and Ebron had their moments. Mm-hmm. We had high hopes for Ebron. Looks like, TJ's doing everything we expect from Ebron and Pettigrew years ago. And I already said it. I've been on record. I said it in that group. I said it another time. I said this show before. I expect 100 receptions or 1,000 yards, or at least 10 touchdowns from TJ this year.
Mm-hmm.
And, for our receiver core being a question mark, I don't think it'd be that bad, but still a question mark.
Right.
TJ's got to be the man.
Mm-hmm. Right. I see that. Looking at TJ Hawkinson, I think he's on that pace to have like one of those really big seasons, all pro type of seasons. Where he becomes a focal point like a Travis Kelce or a George Kittle type of, or Darren Waller out there for the Raiders. I think he has that. I know he has that ability. I think the Lions will definitely use him because his talents are just overflowing. And what he can do is really showing up in the OTAs and the offseason workouts. So it just makes perfect sense for the Lions to make him one of the focal points of the Lions offense for this upcoming season. All right, next we have the Lions wide receiver core. Now, this one isn't a big shocker. I think we learned this before the offseason program started. The Lions wide receivers core has a lot to prove. Man, I'll go first on this one, man. You look at the guys that we have in the building. I mean, we don't have a lot of experience besides a few guys that were often injured, like Tyrell Williams coming off the big injury, or really Geronimo Allison, who played decently when he was in the lineup out there in Green Bay, but coming in hurt as well. The really most tenured guy that we have that has the really most experience on our roster right now in Detroit is second-year player Quintez Cephas. So what do you really think about the Lions wide receiving core having a lot to prove coming up this year?
Yeah, people keep saying, say, oh, your receiver, he's under the fridge or draft on the 7th round. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Now they complain about we got no receivers. Well, the receiving core, like I said, is a question mark. They got things to prove. I think they're going to be better. I'm looking forward to the youngsters, like I said, Quintez Cephas and the rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown to make some strides by mid-season and not sooner. We're going to price out the two guys we signed in the offseason, Tyrell Williams and Rashad Perriman, son of former Lion legend Brett Perriman. But eventually, I think you're going to see Quintez and St. Brown do their thing. Let's see if Victor Bolden, if his training camp wasn't a fluke, everybody looks good in training camp, but can you do it when the season starts against other teams?
Right. Yeah, I feel you on that, man. It's, they have a lot to prove. Hopefully they can, make some strides and we can get some big time play out of those guys. And Jared Goff he doesn't have to have them big time number one receivers. Just look at out in LA, he had a lot of number two guys. He didn't have a lot of big name, number one guys out there in LA. He just had a mixture of good, talented wide receivers. And speaking of Jared Goff, the next one we learned on the offensive side is that Jared Goff's off to a decent start. But like we said last week, he still needs some work. Shorty J, what do you think about Jared Goff being off to a decent start?
Well, the man has talent. I said this many times on this program. He has talent. He's the former number one overall pick, and that was for a reason. He's learning a new system, a new team, new teammates. I'm glad he was in training. OTAs, voluntary and mandatory. It was nice to see him work out on his own with some Lions running backs, receivers. Getting to know each other, running some routes, throwing some passes. That showed leadership. He knows the new team wants to first start leaving LA. He wants to come in, hit the ground running by September 12th. We play the 49ers. That's why he stood up the OTAs and he worked out the players on his own in the offseason in California. So I think he's going to be just fine. Learn that playbook. He's going to be just fine. I'm not worried about Goff.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Jared Goff either. I think he's very talented. I think he's very underrated. I think that people are just, trying to compare him to Matthew Stafford for the arm talent. But he definitely, he plays a good game. So, I mean, if he wasn't a good player, he wouldn't have been to multiple Pro Bowls and reached the Super Bowl as the quarterback of the Rams. I just think that, he had a down year, even though, I mean, he came back from a thumb injury and led the Rams to a playoff victory versus the Seattle Seahawks. So, he ain't no chump. So, I think it's just a Stafford withdrawal from some of the Lions fan base. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. All right, next up, we have the last thing we have on the offensive side of the ball is that The running backs are going to be fun in the passing game. Now, this goes to Anthony Lynn and saying, hey, I can't really evaluate running backs in the run game, during the off-season workout programs because there's no contact, light 7-on-7 drills. You're not really running the ball, but they are showing signs of, what they can bring in the passing game. So we already know that DeAndre Swift is a really good pass catching running back. Played some slot in college, so he's a good route runner. But as Jamal Williams is bringing those same type of skill sets over from Green Bay, he played an integral part in the passing game in Green Bay, especially when he had to spell Aaron Jones up there. So you look at what he brings, and then the young fella, Jamar Jefferson, is a pretty good pass catcher himself. So you look at those individuals coming out of the backfield, it just gives Jared Goff and Anthony Lynn some more weapons on the offensive side of the ball.
Yes, it does. We have two very good talented running backs, Jamal and DeAndre. I think it's going to be a nice 1-2 punch. We've been saying that for years. That's going to be Kerryon Johnson and DeAndre. But Kerryon, he proved because they're healthy and the Lions let him go. Hope he does well in Philly. Kerryon. But, the backs, like I say, there's only so much you can learn from these mini camps.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody looks good in mini camp. Looks he's fast. Can catch some balls in practice, but can he do those same things in the game against real live opponents? So I guess you get excited when they do well in the camps, but don't get overexcited because it's far I think from a regular season game.
Right. But the only thing is that those two individuals we're talking about, DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, they are proven pass catchers in the league. So those two guys are, and those are our 1-2 punch. So those guys are going to be good in the passing game regardless, just because of the fact they've already proved that. I mean, the rookie you have to worry about because he's new to the league, but those two guys are proven pass catchers in the NFL.
Yeah, DeAndre, he proves to be a great pass catcher. We'll forgive him that drop last year against Chicago. Could have won the game.
Yeah, but you didn't see him drop another pass all season or, in another critical situation. I mean, he made some good plays in the passing game for the Lions the rest of the way of the season. And I think that hurt. I think that he took that personally. He made sure he wasn't going to do that again for the rest of the season. But that is on the ball. What we learned about the offense during training camp, mini camp and OTAs. Now, we got to talk about some defense, man. And now we really going to talk about really the big part of what we learned of the offseason workout program was the secondary. And we have a few things. So now it is time to defend the den. First up, we have Mike Ford said it will be contending for a starting job for the nickelback for the Lions. He has outworked so far, the guys that he brought in, Corn Elder. And he's looking like he's going to be contending for that starting spot. It's open. Jamal Agnew, who has switched to offense a couple of years ago. They tried him a couple of years ago at nickel. And then Justin Coleman for the last couple of years at nickel, he's gone off the roster. So Mike Ford, we signed him back to the roster this offseason, coming back in the fold, looking to contend for that starting nickelback position. What do you think about Ford becoming a contender to start?
I like it. I like Mike. I always like Mike. He's a former undrafted free agent who made the team because through hard work a couple years ago. He's played hard. I think his goal in game is he's supposed to be a nickelback. He wants a starting job. That should be mentality. You want to start. You don't want to be a backup. You want a starting job. I think that's what Mike Ford wants. He has talent, and he has some guys in front of him, but I like it. The more talented guys we have, the better off our secondary. And like you said, we signed a couple guys like Corn Elder, and everybody's not going to make the team, so it should be very competitive to see what will happen, who will make the team in the secondary and all over other positions as well. So it's going to be a very interesting summer.
Right, definitely. I mean, and the way that the game is played now, I mean, your nickel back. The sub packages coming in. Nickel is almost like a starting position in the NFL now because with all the passing that goes on in the league, nickel is actually one of the base defenses in the NFL right now.
That's why they pay Justin Coleman so much money to be our nickelback.
Yeah.
But he didn't work out for various reasons.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next up, the big name. You know who he is, Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah has been playing with confidence this offseason. Now, I know he attributes that to some of the tutelage he has from Aaron Glenn and Aubrey Pleasant. You know, coming from that down year, his rookie season where he was injured, shouldn't have been playing in the first place, at least at the beginning of the season. What do you think about him playing with confidence?
Well, that's once again, we drafted him third overall. Everybody in their mama said the Lions should pick Okudah, and they got him. Now, the injury, he didn't look good last year. He was always a step behind. Mm-hmm. He made one good play interception against Arizona, but that was it. The rest was kind of downhill. And I always said, fair or unfair, if you want to draft a DB that high, he has to be the next coming of Deion Sanders. Mm-hmm. And Okudah may not be a Deion Sanders, but he got to make some more plays than we did last year, step up to the plate. This is, hope the Ohio State Curtis doesn't extend the cornerbacks like it does quarterbacks. So, because I'm really kind of Okudah, but I still say Justin Fields is going to be a bust in Chicago, which is okay by me.
Yeah, I was talking with some guys about that earlier, about the Ohio State quarterback curse. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think that the system is helping him out, and I think that you have some guys that's coming in on that defensive side of the ball who is really teaching him how to play, to be a professional corner. You know what I'm saying? Like you have Aaron Glenn, who was a all-pro corner, as a defensive coordinator. You have Aubrey Pleasant, who's that coached the best secondary in the league last year out there in LA. So you have a really good tandem teaching Jeff Okudah, and that's helping him play with confidence, and it's going to help him going forward. I believe he's going to have a big season this year. All right, sticking with the secondary. Now, I'm going to let you go first on this one. The Detroit Lions cornerback 2 position is open for competition. So what do you think about that? They're saying that number 2 cornerback across from Okudah has not been settled yet.
So you're going to assume, once again, that the third overall pick from last year, Jeff Okudah, should just get one of the corners.
Yeah, he's going to be the CB1.
Right, but the other cornerback position, which we thought was automatically amon-ra.
Uh-huh. Yep.
This position, but like I say, it could be Mike Ford, it could be Corn Elder, it can be the rookie from Syracuse, for all we know.
Yeah,
and Iffy. Competition.
Yeah, I think Iffy's going to be pushing by mid-season for a starting position.
I love it. Like I said, the more talent we have, the better off, and the more competition, the better off the Lions will be.
Yeah, you could look at, you got Quentin Dunbar in the building, so it's going to be a wide open competition. I don't think that they believe that amon-ra has just solidified his position as the CB number 2. So we'll see going forward. But I like the open competition. I like it because of the fact it's going to push those guys to be better as they go forward and get ready for the actual training camp and see who's going to make the squad. All right, last one for the defense. All right, Jelani Tavai will be given a real chance to fit in this defense. Aaron Glenn has given him his marching orders. We know he was tasked with losing weight, and he did that. So he's going to be given a chance to fit in this system. And a lot of people don't see him fitting in this system, but we'll see if he's able to do that. So what do you think about Jelani Tavai given a chance? Like a solid puncher's chance, to be in this defense.
I love it. He's a young guy. He lost the weight, speed increase. I think he'd be a ton of player. Once again, the former Lions players curse. So the Lions cut a player, what happens? He goes somewhere else and has an all-pro career. Look what happened to Van Noy in New England. And, of course, several Detroit Pistons. He's like all Detroit teams. They give a guy, that guy goes off somewhere else. It never fails with Detroit teams, you know.
Yeah.
So you get my point. I said it. If the Lions got rid of Tavai, you know, Belichick would pick them up and fit them in that New England defense and to become next Junior Seau or something. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think the Lions should at least give him a chance.
Mm-hmm.
He can improve his conditioning, lost the weight. I guess Bob Quinn saw something in him to make him a second-round pick a couple years ago.
Man, I don't know what the hell he saw in that, because I would always say that was the worst reach for a player I've ever seen.
But if he makes amends this year, he'll justify his position in his draft spot. I'll be forgiven. Let's give the man a chance.
I say give him a chance too. I mean, at least in camp, to give a chance to fit into the scheme and see where he fits. He's got some guys in front of him to. It's going to be an uphill climb, but we'll see. I mean, good luck to Jelani Tavai, definitely going forward. Now, when we get back from the break, you know it's time for 2 points conversing. But before we do that, hey guys, thank you for tuning in to the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, hey, become a member of the Den. Join the family. Join the channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Tell us how we're doing. Or just let us know what you're thinking about what we're talking about on the show. And click the notification bell so you know we're getting fresh content from us right here on the Die Hard Den podcast. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the video, share it, like it, and feel free to follow our Facebook page. My man, Seany J, he does a great job of keeping you informed of what's going on with the Detroit Lions over there on our Facebook page. Now, when we get back from the break, like I said, we're going to go into 2 points conversing. People, we're back from the break. Now it is time for 2 points conversing, where we talk about news from around the league and from Detroit Lions, of course. So first up, the Lions signed the 3 rookies. So actually, we have almost our whole draft class signed right now. The only one left is Iffy. So the Lions signed Anzarike St. Brown and Barnes to their rookie deals. Getting some housekeeping done. They're going. Today was their last day for the rookies for their OTAs and their offseason program. So, what do you think about them signing those 3 rookies to their deals?
I love it. We got, like I said, almost the entire draft class in. We got to get that cornerback in, so the entire class be in, because I don't want to see any holdouts. I don't see any distractions. Mm-hmm. I want to, get the ball rolling. I want to win.
Definitely.
Everybody in.
Yes, I feel you on that one. All right, next up we have your boy, Tyrell Crosby. Hey, Seany J, he heard you, brother. He said he feeling the love by the Lions fan base on social media. He said he heard Seany J talk about you got to keep him around. So what do you think about Tyrell Crosby feeling the love from you, Seany J?
Did he really hear me say that?
Yeah, he heard you, man. He had to hear you.
I don't, he's a good player, a talented young player. Mm-hmm. I know we disagree on it. If you think he's a good backup, a good swing tackle, mm-hmm. I can't say it again. I said it once, said it again. If we didn't draft Panay, mm-hmm. and I've been very comfortable with him being a starting right tackle, but he's a good player. Like you said, injuries happen, inconsistency happens. Panay, as good as he can going to be, he even if they struggle a little bit learning the right tackle position, mm-hmm. he might make the switch to Terrell for a while. Who knows what might happen? And people complain about the Lions being shorthanded, caught, their pants down literally, that they don't have any depth if somebody gets hurt. Mm-hmm. Well, today is a good depth piece, at least for the Lions. And I've said it in our group, big fellas, stick in Detroit for 1 year, 2021, get you $4 million, and see what happens after the season. If it's time to leave, it's time to leave. We'll stay in Detroit for 1 more year, big fella.
All right. Hey, Tyrell said he feeling the love, man. He said he's feeling love by them Lions fans. All right, the last one on this one, we have Magic Johnson. Man, he gave a call to Amon-Ra St. Brown after he got drafted by the Lions. And this came out during the Lions, what's that, Inside the Den, their behind the scenes draft coverage. What do you think about one of the greatest athletes ever to come out of the state of Michigan calling up Amon-Ra St. Brown after he got drafted?
I posted about that in our group. It is a big endorsement, a big confidence booster. Magic Johnson, one of the best players in NBA history. You get that kind of endorsement now. You got to live up to a kid. Now, like I said, LaMelo Ball recently won the NBA Rookie of the Year, and I compare Amon-Ra St. Brown to LaMelo. And in fact, they were raised similar, where the Browns or St. Browns were raised to be receivers, and the Balls were raised to be basketball players. But Brown is like LaMelo, the youngest one, and supposedly one of the most talent. Mm-hmm. So if St. Brown wins Rookie of the Year, he's done something. So hopefully, history repeats itself. LaMelo won it, so can Amon-Ra.
All right, I feel you on that one, definitely. All right, so moving on. Next up, we have the Detroit Lions defensive line has been ranked middle of the pack by some of the, I think it's like Pro Football Focus and like Pro Football, I forgot the other media outlet. Now, they're, as a totality of the defensive line, they're rated the middle of the pack. Now, that's coming a long way from last season. What do you think about the Lions' talent pool in the defensive line?
We're about improving. We got Michael Barkers from the Rams, and we drafted those 2 young guys. And we got a couple of talented guys on the team already. And, of course, your guy from Clemson can't stay healthy. Austin Bryant.
Hey, ain't my guy.
They got Alabama.
I think that guy's in a winter protection program because you never see him.
They got from Alabama can't stay healthy.
Oh, Deshaun Hand, yeah.
It's a talent, but just can't stay healthy. And there are no shoe-ins to make the team with all the additions.
Right.
So once again, the more talent we have, the more competition, the better off the Lions would be. There's still some question marks until we see these guys play and prove on the field. Well, PFF, I guess, is in a way justified for staying on the middle of the pack, but I think they can be better if everybody's healthy and listen to their potential.
Right. And I think that they're going to be able to blitz the quarterback a lot this year, definitely, but just based on the different type of players they have, they can disguise a lot of things that they're going to do, especially from the outside position. So I think they have a lot of talent and to be able to mix up what they're going to do in the pass rush game. So I think they're going to be a lot better than just the middle of the pack. I think they're going to be, once they get rolling, they can be up there in the top echelon of the pass rushers in the league right now, looking what the system they're going to be running up here in Detroit. All right, last one. Now, this one is going to be, we got to get into this one right quick. The NFL sets a series of strict restrictions for unvaccinated players. Now, Seany J, I'm gonna tell you. Let me try to kind of read off what these guys are talking about. Man, I mean, it is when I tell you they saying the clamp is coming down on definitely the non-vaccinated players. So if you aren't vaccinated during the season, you get tested every day. Period, point blank, you're gonna get tested if you haven't had your shot. All right, you have to wear a mask at the club facility and during travel at all times. When you're doing that, you have to be wearing a mask. You must remain physically distanced from others in the club facility. You got to social distance. You must quarantine after a high risk exposure for COVID. Your travel restrictions are in effect. Now, some of these things, including possibly not being able to travel with the team and have to get different travel when you go on road trips. All right, 15-player limit in the weight room at a time for non-vaccinated players. All right, they must be physically distanced in the meal room and may not eat with their teammates if they're not vaccinated. They must have a staff grab-and-go meals and eat in a different part of the cafeteria. All right, no social media marketing sponsorships or activities are permitted for players who have not been vaccinated. They may not use the team saunas or steam rooms, and they may not leave the team hotels during travel. So they must eat and stay inside the team hotel when they're on the road. Another other thing that we're talking about, it appears that they would have to, like I said, they have to travel separately from the team. That's going to be expensive for the teams. They must travel separately from the team charter. They're not permitted, like I said, to eat outside of restaurants. They cannot interact with any other members of the team during travel, family, anything of that nature. So they're putting some pretty strict restrictions on the non-vaccinated players for this season, Seany J.
I think they're trying to pressure everybody to get vaccinated for those rules. Yeah. I'm surprised. Can they, like I said, can they be with their wives and see their children too? I mean, I'm surprised.
Not doing the travel time. They cannot. Like once they're locked in for their travel, I think it's like that Saturday or something. Once they're done, they're done. They can't have anybody in there and like I know some players have their families travel with them, to games. They travel to road games, but for the players who aren't vaccinated, their family is permitted from traveling to game during the season.
Well, they're trying to pressure everybody to get that shot.
Yeah. They are. But in the NFL's and they're going from the part of they don't want any work stoppages. They want to keep everybody safe, and if you look at what they're doing, is just like a matter of public safety. So they're cracking down on it. The NFL, for what it is, it's a private company. And private companies can't force their employees to do certain things. So they're enforcing it that way. So it's like, okay, we're not going to make you get the shot, but these are the things you cannot do without the shot. So pretty much they're saying, hey, be vaccinated or you're going to have a long season.
Do they know how many players are vaccinated?
I think they keep track of that. They keep the track of that at the team facility. So they know who's had their shot and who hasn't. So because I'm telling you right now, the NFL, they've probably been vaccinated players, because they have their ability to purchase the vaccinations themselves. So, but hey, that was 2-point conversion this week, man. I want to talk about that just to see, hey, the NFL is definitely cracking down. They definitely want those players to have those shots, man. Because they want fans in the stands, and they want players to be able to pretty much go back to normal. And with the CDC guidelines saying that, if you're fully vaccinated, you can pretty much go back to life as you had before. They're trying to do that for their league. So, hey, the NFL said they put their foot down. All right, so now it's time to get into what you had to say about the last show. Now, if to get your comment on the show, definitely just leave us a comment on Facebook or YouTube, and we will put your show comment on the show. Now, this is coming from last week's show where we're talking about DeAndre Swift and those guys. So the member of the Den quote from last show, and this is coming from Motor City Podcast over on the YouTube. He said, "Hey, Curt, great episode. Swift was great at OTAs and minicamp. I think Swift is setting himself up definitely to be RB1 for the Lions." So Seany J, big shout out to my man, the member of the Den Motor City Podcast, for dropping us a comment on last episode.
Yes, I appreciate your fans see some comments, questions from Curt and I. We'll be happy to answer.
Yes, definitely. All right, my man, Seany J. All right, give me your final thoughts on the Lions offseason program.
Well, it was good to see just about everybody, almost 100% participation. It was 100% participation, pretty much. Mm-hmm. We still have one roster spot open, right? We haven't filled yet. So everybody was here, so everybody bought in. When they said they were going to come to the voluntary OCAs, they showed up anyway, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. I think they buy into this coaching staff, which is a good thing. We had one injury, one serious injury. That guy from we signed from the Texans. You know what
Oh
I'm talking
yeah.
about. He
Mm-hmm.
got hurt. You don't like seeing anybody get hurt, but that happens occasionally at these workouts, these OTAs and mini camps. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad with no interest in these guys who are counting on for the season, those superstars or those starters.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I don't know if you kept up with this, Curtis, but the weight training program
Mm-hmm.
and how they even do with that. That's a big thing to me because the last several years the Lions had their fair share of injuries.
Yeah, I think they're doing good. They brought in that strength and conditioning coach. They brought him in for the one for the Rams, the new guy, and then they actually brought in the sports science people to help deter those injuries. So they've done a pretty good job so far, but we'll see when training camp hits. So, and that's when a lot of those soft tissue injuries happen during training camp when they actually put the pads on the extra weight. So I mean, we'll see, but for me, the offseason program, what I think is, it is what it is. It's shorts and helmets, but you get to do some installs. You get to do some little things. You can't do full installs. There's no contact. It's just really about camaraderie, and I think that Dan Campbell and his staff did a great job building a team, doing some of those crazy drills that you've seen in some of those videos, and what he talked about. But a lot of those drills worked on fundamentals as well. You just think it's a funny looking drill, running around, in a circle and looking at, hitting some of those dummies and, doing competition. But they made the competition where they actually worked on fundamentals as well. So a big shout out to those guys. I really think that they did a good job doing the offseason program. And like you said, I was happy to see the participation by the Lions veteran players as well as the rookies. So it was really good to see that. All right, Shawnee J, tell the people how they can find you on social media.
I'm mainly on Facebook. My full name is John Jennings. You can find me. I'll be happy to add you as a friend. And you can also join our Detroit Truth fan Lions group. Been one of the best ones on Facebook. You can find our page, our public page, the Die Hard In public page. I keep both pages well updated with Lions news. So drop us a line, ask a question. If Curtis and I, we have to get back to you.
Definitely. All right, you can find the show at Die Hard Dan Pod C1 over there on Twitter. You can definitely follow the show on Instagram at die_hard_Dan_podcast. Or you can definitely follow our Facebook page, facebook.com/Die Hard Dan Podcast. You can find your man Curt Steele at Curtis Steele 14 on Twitter and Instagram. All right. It is our last show of this off-season program workout. We will be back in some few weeks for training camp. We're going to take our summer hiatus as we do every year. Shawnee J, has been a pleasure, hanging out this off-season, looking at the off-season program. Man, you know how we do it, brother. And I just can't wait for the fall to get here so we can get some football going, baby.
Yes, sir. I'm ready for some football myself. And is it September yet? I mean, we're almost through June. So
we are almost through. Hey,
Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day, Curtis.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Thank you, man, Shawnee J. I really appreciate that. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We really appreciate you guys. Hang out with your family, enjoy your kids, and and the joy it is to be a father, man. It is great to be a dad. So, definitely enjoy, and if your father's still out there, he's still living, hug your dad, tell him you love him and you appreciate him, man. Shout out to, Shawnee J and I, we both had the unfortunate, circumstances that we've lost our fathers over the years, but happy Heavenly Father's Day to both of our dads, I know they're looking down on us and are proud of what we're doing.
Yes, it's the first Father's Day I won't have my dad. It's going to seem different, though. God bless his soul.
Yep, God bless his soul. And my man, Curtis Williams, still singing. I know, my man. I love you, my man. I miss you all the time, brother. Hey, as you go about this, that's the show for this week. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your weekend. Be with your family. Be with your loved ones. And we'll see you guys back right here on the Die Hard Den podcast in a few weeks when training camp starts that last week of July. And as you go about your day and you go about your life, you know what you got to do, baby. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man, Seany J, this is Curt Steele, and we are out.